What's up, good people? It's your boy DJTheParkBoy, and welcome to Jays and Jumpers Top 10 Players heading into the NFL trade deadline. And I'm gonna go from least valuable to most valuable people who should be available at the trade deadline. We're gonna start at number 10. With so many offensive line injuries, I feel like this veteran player may get traded. And that's Morgan Moses. He currently plays for the Jets. He isn't like a shining star at offensive lineman, but he's a reliable offensive lineman. And with the rash of injuries and the fact that you can't have a lack of offensive line play because it'll just be super detrimental to your offense, I feel he brings value at the trade deadline for a lot of teams. There's a lot of teams dealing with injuries, and some of these reliable backups should be looked at the trade deadline. At number 9, I have Jabrill Peppers. He may not be everybody's cup of tea, but I like his versatility. I believe he could probably plug and play in a handful of defenses right away. He's not getting much playing time right now with the Giants, but that doesn't mean he doesn't have value. If you go look at his numbers, if you move him around, you can get some production from him. He's not going to be the greatest player because he doesn't have like one designated position, and he's not stellar at being super multi-positional player. But he's a good multi-positional player though. If you need somebody to move in and move around in the right defense, he'll do wonders for the right defense. Like when you have a chess piece, you need the right defense and scheme to put them in so they can flourish. I think he could be one of those guys still. He 5-year pro, 6-year pro, something like that. So he could still, have another growth spurt in the right system. And number 8, I have Marlin Matt, the running back from the Indianapolis Colts. And I know he's still coming off an injury, but running backs, they're valuable, especially when it starts getting cold. You need a running back. He had a pretty good season this last completely healthy season, and the backfield he's going to be entering is pretty packed. They have Nyheim Hines, and they have Jonathan Taylor. So it's not like he's going to come back and the job's just going to be given to him. They have 2 pretty good running backs already. So, kind of makes them a trade asset for them to get something for him. At least I would think of that way. Or you can keep the debt. But I think they're going to trade him and get something for him. At number 7, I have Trey Flowers. Now, I don't know for sure he's going to get traded, but I heard some talk of him possibly being available. I have him a little lower on the list. I think his skill-wise will have him higher on this list. But he's a little low on this list because the cap issue. What are you going to do with that huge contract he still has? You know what I'm saying? But production, he's still pretty productive. He's won Super Bowls before. He's been a key player on Super Bowl teams. So that's value that a lot of teams could use. You know what I'm saying? Having somebody who's won it all, who's been a focal point to winning it all. Again, you put them in the right system, they can flourish again. And that's what I'm thinking he's missing right now. But I don't know if he's going to be traded with his contract unless the Lions decide to eat a lot of that contract. But if they decide to and go with the youth moment because they're in the middle of rebuilding anyway, he could bring some value to the Detroit Lions in terms of draft picks. And number 6, Evan Engram, tight end from the New York Giants. Physically, I love all the traits Evan Engram brings to the table. He just drops a lot of passes. He's falling out of favor with the coaching staff, so that's what pretty much makes him easily dispensable. With all the injuries they have in offense, you would think he would have got more playing time, but that hasn't yet been the case for him. He's kind of falling out the good graces. I think maybe he just needs to change his scenery. Sometimes that happens to players. Like, they have all the gifts in the world. Look at Marshawn Lynch. When he went from Buffalo to Seattle, it wasn't like he was lacking skill or talent. He just needed a new place, and when he got there, he balled out. Maybe that could be the case for Evan Engram. We don't know yet, but, I really think he'll be traded at the trade deadline. And who can't use a number 2 tight end who's as athletic as he is? Not the greatest blocker, but, if you can tap into that potential right, you could have a star. Kyle Fuller, cornerback playing for the Denver Broncos. Last week he got really no playing time. I think they said he played like 2 snaps last week. with Ronald Darby coming back off an injury. And Denver has a lot of cornerback depth. So that's what makes me think he could possibly be traded because of the amount of depth that these guys have at cornerback. Fuller's been a starter his whole career. I know he's not happy just playing 2 snaps on defense, and it's not like he wasn't playing beforehand or playing good football previously beforehand. With the injuries at cornerback at a lot of teams, I can see him having value, especially with I don't know how the rest of Denver season is going to play out, you know. But to me, he's looking like a trade candidate coming up. Number 4, I have Michael Gallup, wide receiver from the Dallas Cowboys. I have him at number 4 because he's an explosive weapon and he's shown his value to the Dallas Cowboys. But he's been injured since week 1. And it's not like his Cedric Wilson hasn't been playing good football. Dallas as a team has been playing good football. Michael Gallup's in a contract year, so I can see why they may want to trade him and get some value because it's not like they missed him so much to the extent that it's like, no, we got to keep Mike around for right now. It'd be a nice weapon to have for right now. It definitely would be a nice weapon for Dak to still have him coming back. And you still got Cedric Wilson, who's been pretty much balling enough for the offense to stay afloat. CD Lamb still growing. And you got Amari Cooper. But with all of that talent there, I could see them letting Gallup go because he's in a contract year. He's not going to be there in the future. That was a almost foregone conclusion when they drafted CD Lamb and Amari Cooper got paid. You're not paying 3 receivers. It's not happening. At number 3, I have Marcus Maye, safety from the New York Jets. I like Marcus Maye. He's playing on the franchise tag right now, and he has been injured this year, but his agent did tweet out that he will be back from injury. So that means he could bring value to so many teams that are struggling in their secondaries. It's not like he's the greatest coverage safety, but he adds a lot of value to that, to the back end of somebody's defense. That's why New York didn't want to let him go. That's why they franchise tagged him. Him coming back from injury definitely hurts his value himself in a contract year. Still think he's going to get paid. He's still one of probably top 15 safeties in the league right now, at least in my opinion. I think he's going to bring tremendous value to whoever decides, to go try to get him. Jets aren't going nowhere this year. They could use more draft picks to, continue to rebuild. Or, Robert Saleh might say, look, no, we still need that vet back there in the secondary. So, no, we're going to keep him. But I think he's, in my opinion, number 3 in value. It'll be number 3 in value. Secondary is one of the most important things, and a lot of teams need secondary help. Speaking on secondary help, at number 2, I have Xavier Howard. Now, this may seem like a reach, but I can see Xavier Howard being traded if somebody offers the Dolphins the right package of picks. It's not like their season's going anywhere. It pretty much looking like they may be done. That's why they're in talks with the next possible person on this list to possibly bring them in. But it's looking like the season's already heading towards conclusion. So I could see Xavier Howard, who had problem with the front office in the offseason over contract issues, I could see how he could possibly get moved under the right package. He's not playing as good as he was last year. But, of course, he was Defensive Player of the Year, so you can't expect him to be that every year. But he's playing at a really high level. He's probably one of the more underrated cornerbacks, in my opinion, because nobody really brings up Xavier Howard's name, I guess, because he's been in Miami. You know what I'm saying? But he's playing really good football. I can see everybody except Miami picking up the phone to see if they can make a trade happen. Of course, to just see how numbers play out with contracts and all of that. But he's going to bring value to whoever he goes to. You need a cornerback. He's a cornerback. He's one of those guys back there in the secondary. That's why he's number 2 on my list. And number 1, of course, is the quarterback for the Houston Texans, Deshaun Watson. He's not going to remain in Houston. That's a foregone conclusion. That's not going to happen. He don't want to play for them. He doesn't want to play for them. And they're paying him to sit on the bench right now. He's making a lot of money to sit on the sideline and not play any football. I can see Houston You know, it's going to get down probably to the wire, but I can see them trading him. If not at the trade deadline, he's not playing for him next year. I don't know what the resolution on this case is going to be, but I can see teams taking the risk now, saying, "Hey, look, I'll go get him." He's that transcendent of a talent at quarterback at a really, really young age. Somebody's going to take the risk. People pick up bad people. I'm not saying Deshaun Watson's a bad person when he did the things he's been accused of. I'm just saying there's people who've committed actual crimes, and teams go get him if they can help him win a Super Bowl. So that's not going to stop his trade value at all. I just don't think Houston's going to get the outrageous numbers that I've been hearing. They wanted like 3 firsts and like 2 seconds and 3 players. Like, you're not about to get that. He's a star. He's a superstar. So you're going to get a nice package. But he's a little bit damaged goods right now until everything plays out in court and the litigation process is done. But whoever does get him, boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy. What's better than having the first pick in the draft when you have a potential star quarterback? Being able to trade for a star quarterback already in the league who's already super young, super gifted, who's shown it on a professional level. Teams trade up a lot to move in the draft to get people. I would rather move a lot to get a quarterback who's already shown me he can do the things we need him to do in the NFL, and that's Deshaun Watson. That's why I think his value is number one, will continue to be at the top of the trade value until he's traded. Because no position is more important than a quarterback, and he's a great one. But this is your boy DJTheParkBoy. This is Jays and Jumpers top 10 players at trade deadline list. I'm your boy DJTheParkBoy. Make sure you go check out other content on the Next Up Network. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and share these videos. And I'm out. It's your boy DJTheParkBoy, and I'm here with a special product for you. I got some Delta 8 weed from JK Distro, and I'm saying it's amazing. It's clean, smokable, and the best part is they deliver it right to your door. Because of the 2018 Farm Bill, it's now legal for them to have Delta 8 weed sent through the mail. That's right. And if you use promo code FLOSS1, you can get some clean, smokable weed sent to your door direct. You have options. You go right there to jkdistro.com. You look at all the strands they have, which is a lot. You can even get you some edibles. You can get you some wine. Anything in between you can think of. You put in promo code FLOSS1, you're going to save you 20%. So go ahead, hop on that now. Make sure it's in the description.